Heyo, duckies and dice fiends, welcome on in. It is Tuesday, and that means it is time for the Table Talk Show. I am Kay. I am one of the hosts here. I do this Tuesdays. Friday, you can finally find me over on Entropy Emporium playing Brandon at the Weird Wilds War. I don't think we have a whole lot else going on, and we'll be right back here next Tuesday with this. I will give a shout out. Spotify creators broke my account before the new year. It finally started working again, so I could finally see stats again. So to whomever marathoned most of season 3 of the Emergency Power Podcast New Year's Eve, thank you. You made my day. I hope you had fun. Everyone is here. Hello, Lurking Wider. Hello, DC. Hello, Rex. Hello, Puddleglum. Hello, Zycram. Hello, who else did I miss? I know I missed other people. We'll get to you. You hush. If I missed you, I am so sorry. Everyone came in at once. You were all awesome. Hey, Nick. Hello. David. Who the heck is you and what the heck is we doing here?
I have to contemplate my streaming schedule because if you were streaming on Friday, I was going to switch to Friday evenings because I'm doing a thing on Saturday, but I may do the thing Saturday earlier and then just be in the chair all day. We'll see. I'll figure it out by Thursday. But hi, I am just full of rants for some reason. Like I took a nap before the show, so I'm energetic.
All energized.
But this is the chaotic, wholesome Tuesday Table Talk Show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff. How to be a better GM, how to be a better player, how to invite Herb to games, how to be a better person, all with a focus on all with a focus on intersectionality and inclusivity so that everybody can have a good time.
Like, there's the caption box on stream, and then there's the caption box on Pixel Chat, Pixel Chat itself. It's just
getting longer and longer.
David.
So many lines.
Very funny. So many lines. To the point where on screen you can't see my captions because it's like, this is what David said, and that's what's important.
Also, I have a new bucket list item to be in DC and invite Herb to brunch, but also to have DC there so I can be in DC with DC at brunch. Look, we're going to have to make a reservation at the brunch place because there are going to be a lot of people there. Anyway.
But at least some of y'all aren't here. For us, you are here because we get to talk to a very special guest today. Someone I realized had not been on the talk show, though certainly not a stranger to the channel. Brian, who the heck is you? And what do you do that brings you here?
I'm taking a drink. What? Hi, I am Brian, aka Urban Bohemian, pretty much everywhere on the internet. I am a TTRPG player, performer, sometimes GM, mostly Twitch streamer, big nerd on the internet, blogger since before blogging was a thing, Generation X nerd. I'm older than you think and have lived far too long on this planet. Hi. I also want to know what moment in season 3 of EPP would you hope that person was listening to when midnight struck?
Oh.
That might be something to think about for later.
I mean, selfishly, there is a moment where, okay, those of you who don't know, in Emergency Power Podcast, I came in at the beginning of season 3. 2 seasons had already happened, and they were like, we need more people. I had listened to it all and basically went to my GM and went like, I love this group. What do I need to do? Like, what should I add in to this mix? And I basically went, okay, GM, here's all the guardrails I have. Here's all the things I will not do. Here's, knowing how problematic this could be. I want to bring in a person at their lowest. I want to bring in a person who is literally just at rock bottom, and we can watch the climb with this really cool close-knit group of people. And GM gave me a moment when my character Solarian, this is a super minor spoiler and means nothing to anyone who doesn't super know Starfinder, so I'm not too worried about it. My character at one point went broken cycle, and it happened in combat and a whole thing happened, and I had a minor magical girl transformation with the most angry sword wielding NB in the galaxy. And it would be really cool if that happened in that moment. Hey Lamia, welcome on in. Yes, I think it was, hold it, was it Puddleglum? Chat is just flying yellow. Awesome. Thank you, Puddleglum, for that gigantic vote. Yes, cheers to having Herb here. There were a couple transformations though in that season. We had some cool queer stories were told there.
Nice.
But Brian, speaking of like things that people can watch, you for quite a while were one of the main cast on Rivals of Waterdeep. That's really heckin' cool.
That, I will admit, while I was honored to be asked, I was also like the first thing I said was, "Are you sure you want to ask me?" Like there wasn't somebody else you want to ask. But no, being on that show was absolutely incredible. I learned a lot. I had so much fun, and I will say, like personally, I was at PAX Unplugged, and I tend to not talk myself up very well. And I was introduced to somebody who was, I apologize because I cannot remember their name, but I can't remember names, so that's just my personal thing. They're like an influencer, does a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff online, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been in a few things. And the person next to me said he was in Rivals of Waterdeep, and her face was like, and I'm like, oh yeah, there was that. I guess there was that thing that I was on. No, it was absolutely like amazing to do that. I kind of miss it a little bit because it was like a regular gaming group that we got together every Sunday. We did this like no recording except for like the last one. And I was coming in with a lot of the heart of the show, which was the show was originally made to let anybody know like how easy it is to pick up and play D&D. And the fact that the cast happened to be all people of color just happened. So coming into it, like I hadn't played D&D since like the big red box in like the 80s, like regularly. So I was kind of newbie when I rolled into it, which let me tell you, if anybody says, hey, we'd love you to come on our thing and play, and it's okay if you're new to D&D, and then to say, oh yeah, can you roll up a 15th level character while you're at it?
Yeah.
A sorcerer, a 15th level sorcerer. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of stuff that Virgil can do. That's like a lot of stuff. But yeah, it was great. It was also convinced me to GM like on stream for more than like a moment, and that was my first experience with that. Thankfully, I had a co-DM, Eugenio Vargas. Many of you may know him as DM Jazzy Hands. Also, yesterday was his birthday, and I forgot to send him a hi. So wish him a happy birthday if you encounter him online. And don't tell him I told you that, because then I got to say happy belated birthday, and it's going to get awkward.
Someone clip that quick.
But yeah, rude. But yeah, I like just such good times, and it taught me a lot about like doing a regular show, having to take and carry a character through changes, and actually, like I do a lot of one shots, that's easy, but to have a character have things happen to them and being able to reference things, and then also having to build a more complex story, a more complex backstory for a character than you'd think, was a lot for me, who generally is much more of an off the cuff, like I'll just make it up in the moment. So being able to kind of write that and have that basis was a lot of fun too. Yeah. I miss that show.
I'm going to jump in real quick. Ilaria, thank you so much for 21 months. We are so happy that we're still stuck with you. Hey, Jill. Zeal, thank you so much. Hello, welcome on in, Lizard. I don't know why Lizard is not working. I see David going for it right now. Rex says big red box is where he started too. I thought I saw another thing to read off, but I may have lost it in that. I will say, and I don't actually know if I've told you this story, Brian. I might have. but I am actually pretty new to tabletop, all things considered. I only played Pathfinder for the first time. Pathfinder 1E, shortly before the pandemic, was my first ever experience. And we broke the campaign in 4 sessions. And I'm so sorry, Dane. Still sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Brian has the best voice to listen to. Absolutely. I get to start. Brian streams every Saturday and Sunday morning. And it's the best way to start my weekend because I'm just like, oh, yes, this feels good. I wish him a merry unbirthday. Such a gift phrase that a perennial procrastinators with Steve-like memories. I mean, me. David knows I'm really good at birthdays because I put people's birthdays in my calendar as a recurring thing, and that is the only way. Quite literally, I always tell people, "Hey, Robo, welcome on in." I always tell people if it's not in my calendar, it does not exist. To the point of David asked me, I think yesterday, "Hey, do you want to hang out with our mutual friend? It was the 18th, 19th, whatever. Does that work?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then today I'm like, "David, I know we made this plan. It's not in my calendar. When? You got to tell me." It's really
I have
bad.
told 2 separate people in the past week, if your birthday is not on Kay's calendar, I'm not remembering it.
And yes, 15th level character is redonkulous. I played Pathfinder 1E with no, like, just the papers and the books, no online help build thing.
Yeah.
And didn't know any better and was supposed to build a 5th level druid. Y'all, don't start with druid. Don't start with druid. I didn't know what a cantrip was, and 2 hours into the build session, I still didn't know, and I was afraid to ask. But I loved being a player, and I knew I wanted to GM, but I was kind of terrified to, for obvious reasons. And actually watching you and Eugenio GM together at PAX Unplugged made me go, oh, you can do this. You can do 2 GMs. And just watching you two play off each other. And David and I obviously do this very different than how you two did it. You know, I tend to be on screen with David behind screen, but like, I look forward to the day when David and I get to DM together, like public facing somewhere, so you all can see us like looking at each other and egging each other on, and like, yeah.
You still
This way it's
won't
more
see
fun because
the...
we can. I was gonna say we can actually look at David and he'll understand that our looks are not for Kay, they're for David.
You still won't see the absolute heinous things that I type to Kay in chat, because a solid 80% of my co-GMing is typing things to Kay that Kay will find hilarious and then watching them not react to it.
If I can tell
It's
you
the most entertaining ever.
How much co-GMing is honestly just having a group chat between 2 people. In Eugenio's, in my case, it was, I've got to go find this document because both of us had given permission to share it. We had a Google document that was how we wrote stuff that started our brainstorming and what we wanted to do that season. And then we would kind of keep rough logs, even though Rivals would begin with us asking, like the GM asks the cast, what happened last week? We already knew because I had already been like watching the episode and transcribing it for the document so we could figure out what to do. But we were also typing within that document to each other while we were live. There's a good reason that the camera like stops here, so you can't see that this is happening really furiously down here. That was interesting because we're having, having to engage with each other, with the cast, with chat, while also like kind of reading cue cards being fed to you by your co-GM. It was like an experience that I insist on doing again. I've got to basically wrangle him into doing it again. But it's one of those things where when you explain to people what was actually happening, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like you are some sort of like wild scientist, like, there's no way you couldn't. Yeah, because we weren't in the same room. We weren't in the same city. Yeah. There was no interacting off of body language. It was weirdly trying to develop a way to react to each other on a camera that looked like we were like somewhat in sync, which we were. We had a brain melt. We did, but
Absolutely.
yeah, that was great.
The messages that David and I were sending each other during the Krampus, especially that final fight, because I'm like, David, what's the I can't find it real quick. And I'm like, David, whatever mechanic that was, I threw it out the window and I'm improving. I hope that's okay. David's like, you're doing great. Keep going. So I had a couple panics.
Listen, it's not it's not a game that we run unless one of us has forgotten an important mechanic to a fight that I have designed. And what's funny is y'all haven't seen me GM online yet. That's going to change this year. But I do and have done a number of home games for years now. And whenever there's a big fight in a game that Kay is playing, we get done, and then after, I immediately type to Kay, so you know how you forgot this mechanic in this particular game we were running? And Kay's like, yeah. I was like, I forgot like 3, and I'm the one who wrote the goddamn module. And on top of that, I have Kay actively breaking my encounters at the same time. So it's always delightful.
I don't know anything about that. I've never done that. I will say though, I'm absolutely when Brian says that they're really bad at talking themselves up, and like they're always like, oh no, maybe someone else. Like that is not Brian being humble, because I remember again, Rivals of Waterdeep was a huge inspiration for me and like a thing that I consumed actively, and so I was like, I'm just gonna ask if they will. Hey, Mr. Live Producer, welcome on in. Like, I'm just gonna ask. I'm running God Plane, and I'm not, but I'm just gonna ask. And Brian's like, "Are you sure you want me? Like, me? Are you sure?" And I'm like,
Absolutely.
I mean, because legitimately, it was me who had done one thing that sticks in your mind, which, okay, but it was one thing. Quantified, it was a lot of episodes of that thing, and then it was the live show, which still, I still do not know how I made it through that. I was terrified.
fugue state.
But I look back on it as one of the most fun things ever. When people reach out, I'm not at we're at that level that all of us feel like we're about doing the same stuff. We're not at a Dimension 20. We're not at a Critical Role. We're not there. So when someone says, oh yeah, are you interested in a thing? I'm like, do you know how many other people at my level are out here killing it? Did you really mean me? Because yay, if you did, but if you mistyped my entire email address, it's okay. I understand. No worries. It's fine.
You did that thing, and you did it really heckin' well. Like, that's the thing you discount about yourself, is you did that really heckin' well. Especially with the chemistry between you and Euhenia. Like, I was so excited to get you both on for ponies, because I'm like, this chemistry in a pony setting.
I made the biggest mistake trying to play a deadpan character with Euhenia, who just oh my gosh. Oh no.
If I recall correctly, Herbs also appeared on several Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realm Presents shows. Yes, like I said,
that's correct.
They will talk themselves down every opportunity. Right on stream is like a guarantee that you are going to have a wonderful time as a viewer. Exactly, Lurking Writer. But speaking of, do you have? I don't want to move us immediately on.
First off, I also don't have any concept of time. So, how long have we been talking about this?
We're not in a huge rush, but, I didn't want to immediately move us on. But, do you have anything that you would like to, a favorite moment that you would like to share? Or, as you said, being on a show for that long, I've been in a game that long, but we also didn't play for very large chunks of time.
Yeah.
It's a lot to maintain a character and a story and a group that long. And it's a little bit easier when it's on stream and there's an audience and there's, all these people, so it makes it easier to make sure everyone shows up. It's one of the reasons I prefer stream games a lot of the time is I know everyone's going to be there and everyone's going to play.
Yeah.
But do you have any knowledge or things that you've learned or something you'd like to share from just that long on a really cool thing?
It's interesting. I think the decisions that were made, they were made ahead of me joining. So a lot of this is due to, Tanya mostly wrangling things and the cast who'd been there before, but deciding how many, if you're going to do a show on stream or on podcast, decide how many episodes you're going to do and make sure to schedule breaks. We understand now more than ever that scheduling is just the worst. So if you already put space in there for those breaks, you're okay, we had planned to be on break that week, but we had to skip a week. So is it okay if we nudge into our flexible time? Beyond that, again, try to do what we did where you can actually have some random con where all of you are going to be there in the same place and try and do a show or an episode or a game there. I'm still have feelings from when we did our finale as a surprise and we all got together in person because we hadn't sat down and really played, and it was the final episode, so none of us were emotionally okay. It was just tears all over the place. And again, I came into it when I was relatively new, and I think a lot of people are here to say you don't just try. You don't have to know everything about the game. Trust me, you don't even have to know everything about the game to run the game, because I still do not. I could not tell you how things work. I forgot that I was nudging me, being do you want to do the breath weapon? And I was what breath weapon? The dragon. Oh, I thought we were going to do Lyric. No, breath weapon. Okay. So, you don't have to know everything. You just have to be invested in yourself having a good time, and then everyone at the table having a good time. And I think that's, I've definitely run games that I did not. I ran games that I didn't know enough about, but I was able to kind of modify into a way where the players had fun. And that's it. Yeah.
Kay and
have fun. That's the number one thing. I don't know.
I often will send Kay screenshots of other Twitch games that are running, mostly because I like to talk about how bad overlays are, even though not only do I have no concepts of design, but I also don't art at all. I barely stick figure, so it's deeply ironic that I talk shit about other people's art. However, every so often I'll send Kay a screenshot and I'll be like, do any of these people like each other?
Okay, this is not that show. This is not that talk.
Right. Brian
so I guess that would be my other piece of advice is, if you're going to stream a thing, remember that you aren't just playing a game. You are putting on a show. You are performing. And if people are going to watch, if you have the expectation of people wanting to watch your thing or tune into your thing, and eventually maybe you want to make a little, your ad revenue pennies from the thing, you all have to put on a show. So that sometimes means that, you'll tune in and perhaps it's the GM and one character's spotlight moment, and the other characters are kind of disassociating, which I get it.
We all need brain breaks.
Practice what it's like to not look like you're disassociating on stream. Just practice being engaged. Practice stare at the space right beyond the camera and just zone out, but don't let your face droop. Mm-hmm. That was hard for me to learn. But yeah. I've worked in corporate America for a long time, so I've had a lot of practice in meetings.
Yep.
meet Kay at a con and get a fidget toy so that you could play with the fidget toy with your hands down below off stream, so that you don't just look like you're like.
Yeah, I was playing a game with a friend. It was a paid game. It was bad. This game has never seen the light of day. Right? Like, feels bad. It was not good for multiple reasons. And like, we finished the thing, and my friend is like, okay, Kay, we have to talk because you look like you're having a great time. I'm like, it was a paid game. It was my job to look like I was having a great time. Doesn't matter how I feel. It's my job. And for me, it's the same true for charity games. It's my job to look like I'm having a great time in that charity game. Real quick, run to chat. Brian Rex says, stop downplaying yourself before I cast fulsome praise. DC.
What is that?
And
Is that a spell? Is that a D&D thing? I've already told you, I don't know how to play D&D. I've already
That's the
explained
opposite
that
of vicious
several
mockery.
times. Vicious
It's not a
mockery
real
has
thing.
no
We're just
opposite. All I do is play a bard. How dare you? Like,
DC says Brian is awesome in one shots too. Hire Brian. Yes. And all of chat is like, yes, this, yes.
I did
You
not
have
come
shown-
here to be praised by your chat. How dare you?
Belated welcome on in, Tom. It's great to see you. Okay. DC says I still think about the Rivals of Waterdeep finale. Rex says cough cough. Golden Girls one shot.
We can talk about that because I know we're going to talk about charity streams. That that was a thing.
Hilarious says, I misheard that as practice being gay for a moment, which is a great solution. Most people on this call don't have to practice.
Yeah.
Yep. David says he needs a lot of practice. It's okay, David. You're not straight to us.
Which is the most flattering. Look, I am of the opinion that you are not confident in your masculinity as a man, as like a cis he him, unless someone has accused you of being, if not bi, if not gay, at least a little bi.
That's fair.
Like, if people haven't gone, do you like dudes? Then you're not comfortable enough in your masculinity.
That's
in
true.
Your sexuality.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rex says, full praise is when I hype you up until you cry.
Oh, that happens almost every year. At least once.
Lavia says, if you didn't want praise, you shouldn't have come. Singing, thank you for rolling a d6. And let's see, shortcut to the mini-series that Brian was part of with Lauren Urban as the DM, Lee Goldberg, Hope Lavelle, and Robo. I didn't know exactly who wished that into existence, but it was great.
Very clever. Yeah, that was also fun. Lauren just went out to people that she knew and was like, do you have a bucket list of something you've always wanted to do in a D&D campaign? We called it wish fulfillment. We had our session 0 was just us throwing the most amazing things out there. And Lauren's like, all right. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, no, that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was ridiculous and fun. And I, of course, left it on a cliffy, but I don't know if we'll actually make it happen, but we'll see.
All right.
Also
chat.
Godplane. Also like Godplane. That was, a nice little tight 6. How many episodes? 6? I feel like 6.
10.
Why do I feel like 6?
I think we did 8.
Okay, see, I don't know numbers either. Because it definitely wasn't
We
10.
We did a 10, an 8, and then a longer one, which has not yet been edited.
Ooh. But yeah, that was asking me to do a horror thing, which I didn't think I'd be able to hang. And just took a different tack on horror, and we all had a lot of fun with it. I feel like we added a good part of a story to that world. I feel like we added a good bit of story to that world.
I feel like every time I run Godplane, I'm like, well, I can't say the last one was my favorite anymore. But it's also not my favorite. Every time everyone knocks it out of the park. I am floored every time. But there is some knowledge in the theater/TV world of if you can do comedy, you can do drama. If you can do drama, you can't necessarily do comedy. And I feel like
Yeah.
comedy and horror are the same thing. And this is why David's like, I don't know how to write romance. I'm like, you write romance like a comedy where they just keep not hitting. That's how you make a long-term romance work, right? Every time that moment's going to happen, you spoil it, and that's how it just keeps going. It's the comedy, because comedy and horror are the same. In comedy, there's the setup, and it has a happy ending. In horror, there's the setup, and then a bad thing happens. It's
And
the
basically,
same
you can pull the same tension
notes.
from comedy that you can pull from horror to throw it into romance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look, as an
no,
ace aro
that is not what
who
we
plays
said,
a-
Dave. No. It took us only
yeah.
32 minutes until we got to edging.
Yeah.
We're not in Herb's channel, so we can't ding, but it was definitely a ding. But yeah, as an ace aro, who has, you know, I have been in one relationship my entire life and went, nope, this was not for me. I can play romance really well because I've watched normies do it. I've watched
Yeah.
all of the
Pattern
romance.
recognition. It's easy. It's fine.
Yeah. It's also a learned sense of timing as well that you learn in comedy. Exactly. Welcome on in, Maverick. Loving on the edge.
What's particularly hilarious about Kay and I is Kay is Arrow Ace. And in our games, and in other games that I've watched Kay play, Kay does the most like flirty, the most like romance heavy things. Whereas I have just zero concept of romance ever. I have never written a character where it's like, okay, this person is going to like this character, and then I'm going to do like the flirty thing, and it's going to be it's never worked out, never executed properly, not even once.
Just
Which
no
is why
game
I
in your
always,
game, huh?
oh God, just I am sauceless like a McDonald's chicken McNugget with a stingy worker, like just nothing in the bag. Which is why I always encourage my players to flirt with each other so that I don't have to.
Look, for me, romance and that whole thing is just as fantasy as fighting a dragon, so I may as well. No bag or no sauce.
Both.
Wow.
But yeah, no, Brian walked into Godplane and knocked it out of the park. I knew they would.
Yeah.
The only person who
Yeah.
doubted that was Brian.
Right.
Also, we were recording like kind of late at night, so I was like, we need to wrap this because I'm gonna fall asleep.
So we
had to wrap, yeah.
would do Godplane, and then we would do an after show recording, and then there would be an after. And more than once, we're doing the after recording, and Herb is just like,
But also, like,
And
that's
the
the
chaos
problem with doing something like horror, like, that late at night for you, is it's like, I am full of... And I can't just log off and go to sleep, because I'm just...
No. So you have I mean, it's like the same thing when you finish any game, and if anyone who has been in the call after the game goes offline understands, there's all of this energy that you're chatting away to kind of like, you know, shake it out like jazz hands. But yeah, in my case, it was the body was like tired, but all of the other body chemicals were like, we just did a cool thing. No, we got to go to sleep because I got to go to work tomorrow. So shut it all down. Like,
what's particularly funny is
so very grateful that you stuck that.
yeah, I like whenever I'm on camera, I get like depleted. So whenever, like until very recently, whenever we would do a game or do the talk show or whatever, I'd close the window, go and immediately collapse into bed. And so when we were doing Godplane, Kay would be like worked up. I would immediately go black out. And then I'd wake up 2-3 hours later, and my chat with Kay would just be full of stuff. And then Kay would be asleep.
Yeah. He could watch my roller coaster because, like, after a game, after a session, I'm like, okay, that was good. Everyone had fun. We hit all the beats. I only messed up that combat a little. Like, this was great. They did stuff I didn't expect. And then my brain betrays me, and there's the turn of like, well, I messed up that one thing. What if everyone hated that? What if no one is having fun and everyone is just putting up with me? I am never going to GM again.
Yeah, I had that for like a minute. I had that for a minute.
It's tough.
But, you know, we were having fun. Like it was, I think the only thing, like, it challenged my brain to keep up. I have a lot of notes from God playing, like more than I usually have. And because I was like, okay, I'm also taking in this information when my brain is trying to shut down for the night. So I'm like, I need to be able to reference this later on. And yeah, I loved what everybody was giving about their characters, and I could tell. I also appreciated that behind the scenes you were approaching each of us to clarify like things that were going to happen or things that so it was good. It was fun, and you know, like any series, we were having a good time. And even in the moments when we weren't engaged, you know, you look engaged. Except for me, I cheat because I am here for everybody else's messy drama, so I am always on camera like, oh my god, yeah, like.
I'm not gonna lie. Invite Brian to your games, if only because you will feel so good as a GM or a player. Like, if I'm playing at a table, my favorite thing is I always have a character, even if, like, even Brandon is more complex than is, like, at first blush, right? I always have a thing, and I specifically leave holes in my backstory that the GM can fill in how they want. Hey, Matt, welcome on in. But also, like, I love having a lore drop or something that I get to drop. There is no joy like dropping that juicy lore bit and watching people at the table go. It's like, yeah, I did that. I did that. That was good.
I think it's one of the best things I feel like as a player, but not always as a character, is, and this happened in the Krampus game, is when you can see at what point we put together what's going to happen and exactly when. And I'm like, if you see my face fairly early on in the Krampus thing, I was like, oh no, I know what they're doing. And I sent it in the Zoom chat, and I'm like, oh. And then they said a very specific thing about a running water feature, and I was like, okay, all right. But yeah, being able to see like other people clue into like things that they hadn't really realized, or things that they were so focused on playing the character that all of a sudden their player was like, oh, like that. Seeing that around a table is great. Seeing other people react to your stuff is great. And it's not as easy when you're doing these like, hey, I want everyone to hop on a Zoom call and we're going to cut out the overlays. It's not easy to have like, this is a specific 2-person moment, so we're going to have a specific overlay for 2 people. You just can't always do that. So everybody else, the fact that everybody else can also find something to like be engaged in that moment is fantastic.
Yeah.
Or if not,
And
they can just always look at Gilmore.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to come be shoulder cat, Mr. Grumpy? No. Yeah, like, that's one of the things that I really enjoy about short, because look, I am so blessed and so fortunate that I've gotten to play a lot of one-shots. Probably not as many as you, but I played a lot of one-shots, and I'm like, I am craving the long game, right? I am craving that, like, slow character. Like, I haven't had it. Like, Emergency Power is coming out now, but we wrapped recording that a long time ago. Hello, Mr. Tall. Like, I miss that, you know, that when you can do the long reveal, when you can let the character grow and change, like, that is my crack, right? That's what I'm craving. But there's something really fun about those really short, more compact games, which is kind of what I wanted when I wrote Godplane, was like, I want this character growth quickly. I want to speed run this character arc. How do I do that? and it was okay. Well, let's make sure I, as the GM, know who these characters are, what the players want, and you all really. Godplane setup is very straightforward. We tell you at the beginning, you're here to try to kill a god. Go. But it's we customize every bit of the world to the characters, and we get the info from the characters and figure out which ones can we tie together and how. And watching people start to figure that out, it is such a joy when people get it. Like, oh, it's so I love it.
For years now, Kay and I have been trying to package Godplane as a module to like give/sell to people. And one of the big obstacles is so much of Godplane is tailored to the individual characters. Like, you know, if we're running a charity game, we've had people show up 20 minutes before the game goes live and is like, what character should I play? What class should I be? Okay. And to be clear, we run with a lot of professionals. It always works out great. But with Godplane, you need to get us your character like 3 months in advance. Because
not quite 3 months, but
a chunk of time in advance, because then Kay and I have to sit down and write 80% of the module. Like, I remember, I forget for which Godplane it was, but there was an August where Kay and I were meeting like 2 times a week and just clacking keys, putting together different scenarios for the characters. And that's where like the big payoff, at least for Kay and I running the game, comes from, is connecting with characters and occasionally throwing some shots at the person behind the character, and really getting that reaction and growth out of it. Well, there he is.
I am getting nommed. He is very grumpy. But yes. All right. Speaking of getting people on shows into games, Brian, you have pulled together a quite robust, and I'm very much a chew toy. You pulled together a quite robust checklist, wish list of, hey, if you are inviting me to your table, these would be great things for me to know, for you to send with the initial thing. It's great. It's powerful. It's effective. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah. I still look at it. I have it up in a window now, and I'm like, who the hell am I thinking that like I can just talk this kind of shit about this? But it did come from a lot of, hey, are you interested in X? And, you know, usually I'm like, yeah, I am. But I have a day job. I have a streaming schedule. I have like the streaming schedules on the weekends. I need to know all of these things as soon as you know them. And some of them are what you normally think, like, we're going to play this game. Cool. We're going to play around this time. Sure. Others are, you know, like, I kind of want to know who's going to be invited because that's important to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not that it isn't that you don't like a person, but sometimes if it's a one shot and there are people who, you know, you've never been able to have characters that have good interactions with, you're like, you know, we'll be at the table if it's our faces that bring people in, but I will be pretending to have a good time the whole time, you know. How many sessions, when is it happening? It's very much the 5 W's, like the who, what, when, where, and why. And it feels like you shouldn't have to ask all of these things, but some people, they kind of forget, like, oh, right, I need to give you details if you're going to give me a qualified yes. And so I wrote a whole thing. I'm going to send a link in your chat, and if I get banned, I get banned.
I think you can, because you're
success.
Yes.
So there it is, and it is very. I mean, I wrote a lot of words because it's my blog, and I tend to write a lot of words. Why would I use one word when I can use 15? And yeah, it's essentially like, what game are we playing? Who are you asking? This is the one, like, what other things have you done? Like, I don't expect anyone to have heard of me with the exception of they're asking me to do something. If I were asking someone to do something, I would definitely want to tell them, like, here's my credentials. Like, this is why I'm asking. When is it happening? How many sessions are you thinking? Is there a session 0? They're going for the mic. How are we signing up? What are the technical details? And that comes like later, like, what are we using? Zoom, etc. Is it going to be paid, or are we just kind of doing this for exposure? Is it for charity? That's, it's nice to know. If it's free, are you going to like at least put our faces and @ handles on something and put it out there? And yeah, it's like, if you go up and down the list, you'll be like, oh yeah, I think people would read that and go, oh yeah, this all makes sense. Because I've been asked to do stuff, and I'll say, like, I don't know how to play that system, so are we playing something that's friendly for noobs? I've had invites where I said yes to a game, and I'm known for not really liking PvP, and it just, like, everything I signed up for was like, okay, yeah, D&D, cool, this, cool, this, cool. I get to the session 0, and it's, well, you've all signed up for the PvP game. And I was not the only person there who said, oh, we didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it was just, it was like, if you're going to have an event and your GMs are running different games, get a little more detail from them on what the games are versus just the system. Because some people, like, they'll want to know, are we doing drama, comedy, improv, romance? They'll want to know things like that. I'm trying to think of like any other big things. Really, I think like the questions here are like, if you read this and think, oh wow, have I thought about all of these things? Then you really kind of have fleshed out your whole ask, and it's hopefully no different than like somebody's sending in a meeting invite at work. It's like, I admit, no one at my office knows how to send meeting invites. They just send a subject that is re-meeting, and it's a time, and nobody knows what we're even talking about until we show up. Like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, if I'm gonna do this in my off time, you got to have your shit together.
And again, well, a lot of this is, even if you're ballparking a lot of it, because a lot of times, Brian knows, I'll reach out to Brian, I'll go like, hey, like, here's our list of people we're thinking of asking. And sometimes I'll do, here's backups, or I'll just go like, here's these, and then I'll reach back out and go like, hey, just checking in. This person couldn't make it. We're going to ask this person. Is that cool? And just letting people know, because as Lurking Rider said, not everyone can click, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We're not universally compatible. Some of us are USB-Cs trying to communicate with USB-C, and not that particular kind of USB-C or something.
And
if it's a USB-B, you have to...
Yeah, you have to flip. Yeah,
You got to
There's
flip
3
it twice
sides.
before it.
Yeah, no, there's 3 sides. There's the first side, the second side, the correct side.
And then the right side. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Agenda, what are those?
even if you've run a lot of games, you still have to like keep in mind the things that you need to ask, because Kay and I both have like talked shit about like, oh well, so and so ran this game and they didn't like inform anybody of any of the things, and look, now it's a disaster. But also we've also been like, well, we've done this before, we know what we're doing. And then Kay is like, yeah, but we're just gonna like double check. And then we'll both be like, oh no, we forgot to like tell them what time the thing is. Like we forgot to ask what day they're available. And just, if it seems really basic, it's still worth double checking, even if you've done it a lot. So if you're like new and you don't have a whole lot, don't feel dumb that you're like, oh, I didn't think of this thing, because people who've done it a lot also don't think of the thing.
And one thing that I always like to include too is just the tone of the game. Because like, hey, we're playing 5e doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Because 5e can be a Krampus Christmas adventure that is ridiculous. It can be a God plane horror. And like I said, we said, hey, we want to invite you to this horror game. You know, we even have pillars, right? It's like, I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but it's like, unlikely connections, secrets being revealed, right? Like redemption, like these are the pillars so that as the person is reading it, they can go, oh, this is the kind of character I need to bring, because there's nothing worse than getting to a game or a one-shot where everyone has the thing and one person doesn't. And, you're in this grim, dark, Warhammer 40K feeling reality, and then someone's got Sonic the Hedgehog. But even we sent the pitch to Brian, and they were like, oh, well, I mostly do comedy. Are you sure you're okay with me doing horror? And we're like,
absolutely.
You could do this. The way you react to everything alone will be everything we need.
And the thing is, like, because I don't do, like, these are things that I've talked to with people who ask me stuff, and usually what happens is I'll get the ask, and then my first email back essentially contains me asking all of these other things, and I felt like, am I overwhelming them if I basically want to know all of this up front? And I said, you know what, I'm gonna just write it down, and I'm gonna be that ass, and I'm gonna be like, look, you need to just go read this page on my blog before you invite me to anything, and then when you've read all the steps, then you can send me an invitation. But not, it felt like, not I'm frustrated and I want to get this out, but it's just, maybe this will help other people, because I've had people ask me stuff, and it's not a complete ask, and I don't feel comfortable saying yes. And then the same person will come back around again later with more, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds good, I can do this. Because they just don't, or they don't respond when I say, hi, I have follow-up questions. Or they do that thing in an email that I cannot stand, where you ask 5 questions in the email and the person only answers 1.
Yo, look, straight to
I'm
jail.
like, okay.
Straight to in
okay.
all of my years doing freelance, there are many types of customers that I would immediately discard to the circular file, immediately, straight into the dumpster. But I'd say number 3 on the list is people where it's I give you paragraphs of feedback on 6 different aspects, and then they zero in on one sentence and then write me back this whole thing about the one sentence, and I'm like, I need you to go back and read that whole fucking thing and then respond to all of those things, because you're wasting my goddamn time.
It's I don't make me break this down to bullet point. But also, I think it's a great resource. Part of the reason I bring it up is, if you haven't run a game, if you haven't reached out to people to request them on your game, it's kind of terrifying, especially if you look. None of us here, as Brian said, none of us here are Dimension 20. None of us here are Critical Role, right? But you still feel like you're punching above your level asking some people sometimes, right? And I have done, I will tell you all point blank, I have reached out to someone and done the here's my credentials, here's what I want to run, here's what and I know for a fact that person went they're name dropping and being obnoxious and a problem, and I don't want to work with that person ever again. And I know that, and that's fine, because cool, not everyone in this space has to like me or work with me. That is perfect and normal. But at least I know that I went in with my stuff in order, and they went, that's not the person I want to deal with. Cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's all the information I needed, and now I'm not going to bother you again, because if I didn't know that if there was any question of, oh, did I just not provide enough information, I might reach out to that person again, which is just going to annoy them. And that's not what I want. And
on the flip side, we've also had people where I'm 100% sure Kay reached out to them and they went, "Who is you? I don't care. Throw it away." And that's also fun.
That's fair.
Yep. Not everyone.
Now,
as we always say, no one owes you their time.
Correct.
Now, I will say, if you turn K down and then there's a dark figure on your front lawn with boxing gloves in the middle of the night, that may or may not be related, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just come outside and
Wait,
get your mail.
if I turn K down, can I get like a front lawn? Does that mean I'd have a house?
I would have to
Send me
bring a front
pitch
lawn,
right now.
install it.
Okay, I feel like this is my path to getting a house. This is my path to home ownership and a front lawn and a creepy figure on the front lawn.
Here's what you
Small price to
understand.
pay.
David has a square of AstroTurf that he just puts down and stands
Oh, that'd be rude.
Yeah,
Lucky
square of
Rider says-
AstroTurf under one arm, folding chair under the other arm, boxing gloves on already.
Looking Rider says Sonic the Hedgehog would work in Warhammer 40k, and here's my one-word TED talk on why. I don't know. ORZK? ORKZ.
Orcs, yeah.
I am orcs.
Yep.
Thank you. I am too dyslexic for that word. Orcs. Thank you. That except Knuckles would be inexplicably much faster than Sonic because, as everyone knows, things that are red move faster. Rex says only devils reply to one question in a 5-question email. I have worked with a lot of devils over the years.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah, no one said how big the front lawn was, Maverick says.
Yeah, no, I got to clarify next time. That's right. I do. Yeah.
A creepy figure on the front lawn, still better than a mortgage. Puddleglum says you'll find a dark figure with boxing gloves on. Strong bad?
I wish I was that articulate.
Red is the tastiest color.
It is. Especially the kind that they took away from us in the 80s. No, sorry, 70s.
Yeah, 70s.
No, maybe. Yeah, 70s. Yeah.
So yes, it is great to have a checklist. And speaking of, I'm also going to point out, not just because he's in chat, but DC has incredible checklists for production, how to reach. So like, look, if you don't know something, look, there are resources, right? If you are overwhelmed, how do I get started? There are videos, there are checklists, there are resources. Like, don't feel like you have to go it alone. Don't feel like you have to go in blind. You can find it. It's cool.
And again, even if you are experienced, Kay and I send each other like YouTube videos and articles and stuff. Like on one of my trash email accounts, because I'm a millennial, so I have like 7 of them. I am subscribed to newsletters, and there are times where I have to actively like when we're coming up with topics for the talk show, I have to actively go, okay, I can't use this idea because this was in a newsletter that I got like last month. Like it's someone else's idea. I got to come up with something else because
Right.
Kay and I are always trying to learn more and get better at doing what we're doing.
Learning is hard.
I love learning. I love learning. I hate educational systems.
Yeah, that's it.
I have some issues with them, especially looking back. But like Penn and Teller taught me a word that was the best thing I had ever. Penn had a whole rant about people who learn. Hey, Tyranthosaurus, come on in. Has a whole thing about people like me who are like, love learning, hate education systems. We're called autodidacts. Only other autodidacts know that word because we teach it to ourselves, and it is literally just people who like to teach themselves. Fun story, I work for a Japanese company, and my final interview for this job was with the president of the company, who is Japanese, who was here for 2 years and speaks no English. And final interview, you really, like, it was one of those, like, the hiring manager wanted me, everyone had decided I was the person. We just had to get the president to sign off on it. And he had concerns, so I specifically had to address the concerns. And one of the things I said, and so I'm speaking, and then you'd stop because there's a translator who would translate. And I'm like going along, and I'm like, I am so sorry. I am an autodidact. I see her face, out of my peripheral vision panic, and I'm
Oh
like,
no.
that is a word for people. I'm like, I got you. It's good. We're fine. I'm not gonna leave you with that. But yes, I love learning, and again, I've taught myself a lot of things, and I know you do too, Brian, because none of us get a crash course on how to stream.
Oh my gosh. No. And it's unfortunate. I was because one of the people who does most of the plugins that many of us use, Finite Singularity, was kind of lamenting how the educational content is going down on YouTube, like because it doesn't get a lot of views and a lot of traction. And the thing is, I'm like, well, of course it doesn't, because I don't need it until I need it. And then I'll watch it 5 times, and then I've got it. And then I don't need to come back to it. Yeah. So, like, as much as I am not one of those people who, like, you can use as a resource all the time. Like, I don't know how to do stuff. And I'm like, well, go look it up. But if you ask me a really specific, like, if you say, like, I have tried to do X and I can't make X happen, I'm like, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be holding your hand for the whole thing, but I'm like, here's like the one measurement of wrench that you need to fix that thing, and there you go. But there are tons of people out here who are more than happy to, like, share what they do and how they make things happen, and it is hard to do a lot of what we do and to make it look like we know what we're doing. Like, that's the hardest part. So yeah, like, if you need to know how to approach someone to ask them to be in games, like, honestly, hit up someone like Kay and David and say, I am nervous about, like, here's what I'm worried about will come across. Not like, oh, I don't know how to do it. How do you do it? Don't do that. But like, here's what I want to convey to the people I'm asking. Is there a way that I can, like, succinctly do that? That's a great question to ask, because chances are they've got you for that. They can't tell you how to do your whole approach, your whole anything, but they can be like, yeah, here's how we ask people to do the thing.
Back up the tiniest bit. Chat just filled chat with what I said, autodidact. Everyone's like, autodidacts roll out. I love y'all. Mwah. Mwah. And then we have all of the content. Thank you, Puddle Club.
Nice.
Mr. Live Producer says, I've been at it 15 plus years, from the days of analog streaming, and even more from my terrestrial broadcast days. I learned editing on VHS and Mac system. Yeah, bananas. The amount of stuff I have had to learn for my campaign: political systems, ancient sewer design, how armies are organized, crop yields, a barony, how many acres are in a barony. Yes. Oh, Maverick created crop circles, but we don't know that. We don't know that. I learned so much about medieval architecture when terrorizing Rex Verde in this game. Excellent. Me watching educational videos on YouTube to be continued when I need to know something more on the subject.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, you will learn a lot as a GM. You will learn a lot as a streamer. So much of what, like, this is my thing. I work in video games. If people come to me and they're like, how do I get into video games?
What you do is you print out a resume, and then you walk up to the game companies and you hand it to them, and then they reject you, and then you go home, and then you go work at Wendy's. Like, that's how you get into...
This is not 1985 anymore. Stop that.
Right.
But if you come to me and you're like, hey, I want to work in QA, or don't work in QA. Like, QA is awesome. QA people are the freaking best. They are underappreciated. QAs are heroes. QA, community managers, social media managers, and producers. Unsung heroes of the video game industry, let me tell you. But yeah, don't go to people with specific questions. And this is the thing, especially in the TTRPG space, especially in the streaming space. if you go to someone with a specific question, the rejection letters are my kink. Yeah, look. This job hunt, before I got this job, 177 applications. I got one interview out of it, and that was the job that I got. So, yeah, you get real familiar with. I'm still getting them too, and I'm coming up on 3 months at this place. Like, people are so happy to share. Actually, it's very funny because I was watching Matt. Like Matt made a streamer bot command and gave it to me. And I was looking at how he had it set up, and I'm like, Matt, can we hop on a call? And I taught Matt DC's nesting scenes trick. And Matt's like, this has changed my life. I'm like, it changed mine. I learned it from DC. And the more you can info share in this space, like, everyone is happy.
I remember we were, so Kay has spent, until very recently, I'd argue that Kay spent more time working on OBS and StreamerBot than actually streaming. But there was a point in time where Kay was like, David, and I'm like, what? And Kay's like, David, and I'm like, what? And then they're like, I got a screenshot from Herb for StreamerBot that fixes this, and this that we've been trying to do. And oh my God, I've been working on this for like 6 hours. And then, but then Herb was like, oh no, you just do this. And the level of delight on Kay's face. And it's probably still in our StreamerBot because, you know,
sure it is.
we and I was just like, yeah, because Herb is cool. That's why.
Look, people with weird brains have to stick together. And it's the weird brain for figuring stuff out. You know, just ask us, like, you know, it's like, you may ask only one question today. That is all you may have answered. No follow-ups, no add-ons, and no tag-ins. Like, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Or my favorite are the people
or, you know,
whose weird brains do the thing of, you know, it's like, gosh, it would be really cool if that could happen. And they vanish. And
that's
6
it.
hours later.
Because it's like, wait, I can make that happen. I just want this to do this, and then I want this to do this, and this to happen. And oh, wait, I just did it, didn't I? Crap, now I have to actually do it. Like, dang it. Like,
yeah. Yeah, and it's especially funny when they don't say anything. You just see them go, and then they either leave the group call, chat, whatever, or they're just gone. Like, everyone else is talking, and they're like, you're like, oh, oh, they're about to make some magic happen. Yes, the neurospice must flow.
Absolutely. For neurotypical people, that's like when you're in the shower and you solve a problem that you had at work yesterday. That's the closest that we can do to explain that.
When you're in the shower and you think about an argument that you had and you come up with the perfect one-liner for that argument that happened 2 weeks before.
Yes.
That's what that's like.
Or 15 years before.
See, then now we're moving out of neurotypical. Yeah, now,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
there have been a lot of conversations about our perception of time, and that is why we actually will turn to answer a question that actually happened 5 years ago. There's a lot about like why people are like, is time even real? Do our brains time travel? That is not what this show is about. Like, this is not a rabbit hole we're going to jump down tonight. But yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, ask around in your peer groups, especially like there are people who are more than happy to say like, yeah, you can ask me stuff. Like, you know, we call that DC Lacer because DC does Tech Friday. He has the ability for you to get consulting sessions with him for stream production and other things. So yeah, there are people who are more than happy to help you. There are other people who are probably more than happy to help you, but are also very busy. So that's why they can help you with one thing, and that's it.
And sometimes if you go to someone and you're like, can you help me? And we're like, go watch this video by DC. It's not because we don't want to help. It's because DC describes it better than I could unless I get you on a call and screen share and physically walk you through it, right? Like, DC's videos are great. Go watch them.
Right.
Also, if someone is a professional consultant, if you can, throw them money for their time and expertise. Because at this point, Kay and I think we've hired like 4 different people over the time that we've been running this channel to just like sit on a call for an hour and tell us stuff. And you don't just do it to learn new things. You also do it to confirm that you are headed in the right direction. Because we've slapped down money for someone, and then they sat down and told us everything that we knew already. And then Kay and I went, okay, we know we're on the right track.
Yeah.
We are nearing the tail end of this. So chat, if you have any pressing questions for Brian. I know we're so entertaining, aren't we? If you have any questions for Brian, now is the time to start shouting them out. But I want to make sure we talk a little bit, and we've touched on this a bit, but charity streaming. We actually met through charity streaming.
That's right, because, oh god, you played the Circle of Stars Druid, and you had the whole face
girl.
paint. It was
yeah.
kind of terrifying, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like that was my first Mercy Road. Oh my gosh. I love charity one-shots. It's one of those things where you don't have to be super good at playing. You don't have to be super good at the system. You just have to be and when you confirm what the charity one-shot is about, like you have to confirm that I am good at performing in this genre. Everything else will come from that. Like, you know, if you're good at doing horror stuff, if you're good at being serious and non-dramatic and not corpsing on camera, if you're good at being funny, if you're good at improv or snappy, that's all you really need. And then you need like a working knowledge of the system. And it's just fun because it is a one shot. Generally, it doesn't mean anything. You can have all the fun you want. If you get a little out of pocket or out of line, I feel like the GM has enough rails to know like, okay, we're going to steer it back in, but otherwise I'm just going to let y'all like play. I really enjoy them. And yeah, like I have now an officially like a one-shot character that has just basically been from like all across the multiple universes of D&D. And some of it's like I say, honestly, I can't be arsed to come up with another one, but everyone likes Sylvester. It's a very sassy bard.
We love Sylvester.
Yeah.
And I like, it's the bard, and I like playing like the party social glue. I like playing the one that like, you know, fills out, because it's interesting with D&D, like the rogue was sort of like the all trades, and they sort of shifted a lot of that over to the bard. And I never want to play a rogue because that is too much math. So I'm like, no, I'll be the bard.
Rogues are my primary.
I cannot keep up with this. I cannot keep up with that. I'm like, if I'm playing in a party with a rogue, somebody is like, well, do you move yourself out of, and I'm like, no, I'm going to stay right there next to the person for no reason whatsoever.
See, for me, rogues are easier because by and large, unless you're Arcane Trickster, no spells. So all I have to worry about is the mechanics and like, how am I going to position myself and how can I work this battlefield? Yeah. I've only played a full spellcaster once.
Wow.
Because bards are half.
I love using magic. I love using magic. Period.
I love using magic. You can be really creative with the use of a lot of magic, but there's just something about there's something really fun about just being like a normal dude in D&D. Like, yes, you have magic. Yes, you are blessed by a god. I'm just gonna stab you.
I have been wanting to play like a trope of a lot of like the one shots is like, okay, you're all extraordinarily hot. I have been wanting to do like somebody's like, can we just play a one shot of like tired middle-aged adventurers who are most like they're good at their stuff, but they're mostly normal and they mostly have that like just like we're just going through it. Like I would love to do that once in a while.
It's funny because I have a specific character that started as an archetype in video games I play and then became a TTRPG character that is specifically a like mid-50s over the hill, I am too old for this shit. Like, not just bald, but like horseshoe, like
You just got the
Hulk Hogan.
Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon kind of going on over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like,
Jebediah,
oh
wasn't
man,
he? He's great.
I don't remember his name. I'd have to. It wasn't Leroy. It was something.
No.
But like,
It was
yeah,
biblical.
like,
It was biblical.
yeah, it was a biblical name. But I was just like, ooh wee, yeah, just like all his joints creak. It's like, why am I doing this? Like, and I love one of the tropes that I like is the over the hill character that is dragged back into it for no reason at all. Like, if Hollywood would hire me, I would write a Conan the Barbarian movie for Arnold Schwarzenegger where he plays like Conan who has to go out for one last adventure. And the whole time he's groaning because all his things hurt, and it's not acting because Arnold is like 80 now or something like that. Like, yeah,
Right.
perfect. Just love all that shit.
David, have you read Pratchett? Okay. No, we don't have time. We're nearing the end.
We don't have time.
I was going to say, we are like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of conversation.
I was going to quickly say one of my favorite moments in one of those after game sessions that I was playing with this person whom I didn't enjoy, who just kept going like, my character's hot. Like, no, I don't think you understand. They are so hot. This character is so hot. And I had long established, I was playing Burton, who's my good old folk, who, and I'm like, Burton is not. And like, it was like a stop, and then and they looked at me, and I'm like, no, they're goofy looking. None of their features fit together. They got too many freckles. Their ears stick out. It's so much fun. I don't know why it brings me joy, but I love that I'm playing this goofy looking person that once you get to know him, yeah, you fall for the big brown eyes and the lopsided smile, but there's something fun about, no, I'm not hot. I'm just good at what I do. No, I don't have the force. Yeah. I'm just a really good smuggler. Tyran would like to know, for all three of us, if we can talk about it, what's next?
Like tonight, I'm going to bed.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
David and I have long been working on a couple different projects that maybe, hopefully, at some point we'll knock out. I have to.
We're launching something this year.
At some point, I have to finish some audio editing. And
I'm so sorry. I'm so
drowning
sorry.
in it. I'm drowning in it. And we've got a soon there will be coming out. It's on the scroll, the starting ending scroll of I am getting to play a character that I've really been wanting to play for a very long time. An ASMR to a dark god in a homebrew Legacy 5e podcast game, and that will be coming out soon. The prequels are out, but the actual game itself is not yet. So that's what's up for me.
I'm not even sure I want to talk about it yet, just because I haven't done all the legwork. But I will be running a horror one shot or two shot at some point, hopefully soon. But I still have a lot of like learning the new system, and then I do like casting and all that. But as it develops, I will let y'all know.
I got nothing.
Ryan's gonna be streaming
it is like
Saturday, Sunday.
It is 2026. Yeah, I'll be streaming. If anyone out there is thinking about something now, in March I will be doing a charity game on DC's channel, which I have played in a lot of DC's charity games. I am very familiar with how they are structured and paced and run, so it's sort of a challenge this time to surprise me. That will sort of be the challenge, to surprise me, and not with the plot, because I've lived far too long on this planet. I've seen every plot that's ever made in existence. It's fine, don't worry about it. But yeah, we have a lot of fun with those. And otherwise, no, I don't have anything. There's nothing else that's really on my. There's nothing else that is on my schedule. So like if we talked about earlier, like if you want to invite me to something, right now would be a great time to start asking, because the early year is is open. And then once it gets nice outside, I'm going to be outside on the weekend, so I'm not going to be home. So figure that out.
Do the thing now if you can. Also, we've had people reach out to us. We have to get back to them. I just haven't.
Look, Kay has had a year. I have had a year. May 2025 exist in the dumpster to which it has been discarded and never emerge ever again, because Lord Jesus. Yeah.
Rex wants to know, Brian, how do you fit all that awesomeness in one person?
It's really all held together by a bunch of stress. Like, you know, it can be good stress. Yeah, I just do stuff, and I try to be the person that people want to work with. And sometimes that comes across as being like too nice, although I am naturally nice. I'm from the South. It's, you know, I'm nice, and then I'm also nice because I'm a bitch. But, you know, but no, I like having fun at stuff. I try not to accept things that I don't have fun at it. And yeah, you know, like, I want someone to say, hey, I'd like to work with them again. So I try to have fun. And the things that I don't want to work with, like the things I don't want to do again, I still like treat them professionally, but I will very honestly let you know, like, thank you, I'm good.
Yeah. Looking Writer says he's an amateur consultant. If anyone wants to pay him, then he could be professional. Not sure anyone needs to pay for obscure Star Trek, Star Wars, or Doctor Who trivia, but shrugs. You never know. Hire Lurking Writer to write you awesome lyrics, because no one does better parody lyrics than that.
Very good.
We got Sylvester Love in the chat. Very specific trivia nights. Yes, if you need pub trivia questions, Lurking Writer is your guy. Plus, you can the looks you can get from Brian are fantastic. Yes, invite Brian to your games. Like, there's no joy.
The puns are just, there's so many. There's too many puns in the one shots. Y'all. Ugh.
But
too many.
Like, also, like, again, in Godplane, when people would start, like, bickering or arguing or accusations or big reveals, like the fan comes out. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I was the hearing cleric who the party made tank, and I'm like, no, too close to home. Let's see. Having fun with my bugbear rogue, says Rex. We love that.
Oh, nice.
Sadly, there is a continent and an ocean between Lurking Writer and that pub trivia bar. See, these are the things you can get. Let's see. Or a Golden Girls party.
I did run the Golden Girls one shot for charity. That was an interesting thing. Taught me a lot about running a charity game. Number one, don't have too many redeems that are affecting the game. And number one, above the number one, don't have one of the redemptions be a thing that allows your character to ask an accurate question about the future.
Yeah.
Lots of comments about keeping Brian up past their bedtime.
Well, it's okay. I have another episode of anime to watch, so I'm gonna like brush my teeth and watch that. So I'll be fine. Don't worry about
it. Okay. Okay. Drowning beneath the sound waves. Sorry, I am so far behind on chat and trying to like speed run to see. Okay, so yes, I have long said, David has heard me, I want to play an ASMR who does ASMR. I want to do an ASMR, this is ASMR. And Lurking Writer has the same one.
Got it.
Yeah.
that. Sorry. That would be interesting to really do like this the entire time. But the problem is, are you allowed to like emote? Can you react? Or do you really have to maintain this the whole time you're playing? I don't know how well it would work, but that'd be fun to try.
I'm just imagining like, I have to get this recording done. You all have to shut up. Could someone cast? You can't cast silence because they need to hear me.
Can you also imagine like being constantly like every single time you're out doing anything, like, you know, one of your party members swings a sword and the ASMR person, wait, do that again.
Right.
No,
Yes.
okay,
Hold on.
do
Hold
it
on.
like
Hold on.
no, it must be you hit an organ and that's what made that really good schnick. So it's not going to work, you know, like just constantly collecting little things that make noises all the time.
Mm-hmm. Lurking Writer, too many puns. Brain fizzles. Does not compute. What if it's a cleric / necromancer multi-class asking for me? Look, I play the creepiest grave domain plant genasi cleric. I would love to play that again. I miss that so much. Oh my goodness. Thaumaturgy, but quiet. Okay, do you think a Kinku would excel at ASMR? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That's the ASMR sidekick. They do the talking and then the Kinku does all the little sound. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need to stop or else I'm going to be like, I need this buddy cop game right now. But all right. Thank you, chat. You are wonderful. And yes, Tyrannosaurus, the Southerners are kind but not are nice but not kind.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, if you get a bless your heart, ooh, you done messed up. Ooh, you done messed up.
No, I'm gonna put in a prayer request for them. It's okay.
Right. So you'll throw in the Kinku story, and we will. You might have to throw it in Discord because we can wrap up because we got to get Brian in bed. It's time for anime and brush teeth in bed.
Yeah, it's like episode 2, and sadly, there's only 2 episodes, so I'm gonna be sad in a half an hour. Rude.
Very rude. So Brian. First off, thank you, chat. You are all awesome. Brian, who the heck is you, and what the heck has you been doing?
I am Brian, aka Urban Bohemian on the internet. I am mostly a Twitch streamer. I am a TTRPG player and performer, and sometimes GM. I was on Rivals of Waterdeep. I've been in the God Plane. I was on a Ponies 2-shot. I've been in several years of Mercier Road. I have done a lot of shit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very impressive.
I was in Wish
As you're
Fulfillment
going,
most
I did
recently.
one thing. All
okay,
of
shut up.
DC's charity games. I will not.
I was gonna say,
You're
like
not the boss of me.
wait, what are we up to? Quintology? What's a 5-part thing? Pentology? Are we at 5 or 4? I think we're
Quint.
4 food-based thing. And yeah, I did basically come to my stream if you want to talk about nerdy stuff, you want to see me go on tangents, bother me on Blue Sky if you want to talk about Star Trek, which we managed not to do.
I don't know how we did that.
Tonight.
I don't know how.
I had to hold that in this whole time.
I'm
We
very
didn't do
impressed
Star
us.
Trek
I'm
or
very proud of
Centaurs.
us.
Chat, I'm so impressed.
I am proud of us. And yeah,
This will
bug
be
me on the
year
internet.
6.
Mostly I'm nerdy there on Blue Sky. I deleted all of my posts on Twitter. My account is still there and it's locked down, but fuck Twitter. And yeah, come to my streams. Hopefully have a good time. And if you don't, just don't tell me about it and don't come back.
Also, budding TikToker. Lurking Rider says Southern Cleric casts Bless Your Heart, and suddenly the party fails a death saving throw. I love that.
That's what the cleric saves up for the BBEG.
Yes. Ilaria wants to know what anime though.
Oh, it's the the isekai with the gay accountant. I can hold on. I can get the actual. Let me get the actual name for you. Isekai office worker. The other world's books depend on the bean counter.
Basic.
Boy, do I hate how some mangas and animes have the 50-word titles. Like,
I love them. I would love to describe like every moment of my life like I am trying to title an anime. It is the best. Just like when you lean into it, you realize sometimes I only have to laugh at situations that make me upset by turning the situation into an anime title, and then I can't help but laugh. And I'm like, okay, yeah, okay.
That's fair.
Y'all.
Oh my goodness.
I work.
Sorry, I just saw another title and I'm like, oh, okay, that's.
I work for a company that makes games and is out of Japan. And the number of titles I have to beg them to cut down. Anyway.
For marketing, for just character limit, for your sanity, like
yeah, for like, sadly, I nothing I can talk about right now. Sadly, if one of these comes out, I will share. But right now, I cannot. But yes, thank you so much, Brian. We're gonna wrap up so we can get you out of here. Thank you, chat, so much for hanging out with us. This was a treat. You are always delightful. Thank you, Puddleglum, for all of the gigantic emotes and the content. Alaria, thank you so much for the Prime resub. 21 months is ridiculous. Thank you. And to everyone who hung out, who made us laugh, who asked questions, who made puns, who caused psychic damage for the other two on this stream. Thank you. It delighted me to no end. Reminder, Weird Wilds War will be Friday over at Entropy Emporium. I will be playing Brandon, Herb's favorite character ever. Wednesday, not tomorrow, the following, the new episode of Emergency Power Podcast will come out. That is a Starfinder 1E podcast adventure. It is incredibly queer and mostly wholesome. And then we'll be right back here next week doing this, as always. David, who the heck is you and what the heck has we been doing here?
I am still filled with Star Trek questions for Herb, so Herb will have to come back on the talk show. But hi, I'm David, and this is the Chaotic Wholesome Tuesday Table Talk Show, where every week we talk about TTRPG stuff, how to be a better GM, how to be a better player, how Herb is awesome and accomplished, and you should ask them to be in stuff this year, how to be a better person, all with a focus on intersectionality and inclusivity so that everybody can have a good time.
As always, go follow Brian. Go start your weekends watching their stream. It makes your weekends better. Trust me. Thank you all. You are incredible. This was such a delight. We're going to find someone to raid. And as always, be kind to yourself, be excellent to others, and we will see you all next time. Bye.